fifth dimensional crystalline solar light into our earthly bodies in frequencies beyond anything we have ever experienced. This has greatly accelerated the divine alchemy that is taking place within humanity's bodies and the bodies of the elemental kingdom and Mother Earth. We are being transfigured from carbon-based planetary cells at a greatly accelerated pace into fifth dimensional crystalline solar light cells. This is the frequency of light that will allow our I Am presence to manifest our fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies of infinite perfection. This light is being integrated by our I Am presence in the core of purity in every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of the cellular structures of our earthly bodies, in the most intensified frequencies that we can safely withstand, but also in a very gentle and loving way. Many of you might be physically and tangibly experiencing this acceleration and experiencing what everybody is referring to as ascension symptoms. But the beings of light have promised us that God is not going to kill us in this process. So our I Am presence is not going to accelerate this frequency beyond what we can withstand. But what is happening is that because of collective consciousness and the oneness of all life, there are myriad awakened souls like yourselves participating on a conscious level, serving as surrogates and holding the sacred space for humanity and those souls that are not aware of the magnitude of what is occurring on this planet at a cellular level during this cosmic moment. The legions of light want us now that we're vibrating at this new fifth dimensional crystalline frequency of light to realize that the holy breath within each of us has now been accelerated and expanded to entirely new levels of God's infinite perfection. The holy breath has always been our connection to our I Am presence and our Father, Mother, God. The first breath we take is when we are born into the physical plane. And the last breath we take is when we experience the transition that we refer to as death, moving into the higher schools of learning. And every single moment of every single day, we experience that holy breath, which draws forth our life force and the electronic light substance that pulsates through our chakras and our electrical meridians, activates our brain consciousness, beats our heart, and allows us to send forth every thought, word, action, and feeling as we express ourselves and work through our earthly experiences in this physical plane. But now that we are in the fifth dimensional crystalline fields of the new earth, and those carbon-based planetary frequencies of the old earth have been sealed, dismantled, purified, and no longer affect us in the way they did when our lower human ego had command of our bodies. Now, our holy breath is breathing in higher frequencies of God's infinite perfection. And what we are being asked to realize and to consciously pay attention to now is our holy breath, known as the conscious breath. With every in-breath, if we will envision that we are breathing in the breath of God into our heart, and this is ascending through the divinity in our heart, up through our crown chakra, ascending through the portal of our physical sun, Helios and Vesta, and through the next portal of our central sun, Alpha and Omega, and through the higher dimensional portal of our great central sun, Eloi and Eloah, and through the even higher portal of our grand central sun, El and Allah. This holy breath instantaneously then ascends into the very heart of the all-encompassing presence of our Father, Mother, God, the cosmic I Am, all that is. This heart center of that all-encompassing divine matrix that is our Father, Mother, God is known through all creation as the core of creation. So when our holy breath reaches the core of creation, our Father, Mother, God, knowing us individually through our I Am presence, project all of the divine potential of God that will help us individually and collectively fulfill our divine plan into that holy breath. All of the skill, all of the courage, all of the divine wisdom, all of the light that will assist us in fulfilling the immaculate concept of our phase and our part of this miraculous planetary reboot is flooded into this holy breath. Then on the out breath, instantaneously, we magnetize that full divine potential through the polarity and the magnificent portal of El and Allah, Eloi and Eloah, Alpha and Omega, Helios and Vesta, through our individual crown chakras, through the divinity of our heart flames, and then it flows into the physical plane of earth, blessing all life belonging to or serving the earth at this time with this full divine momentum directly from the core of creation. That is the process of what is now occurring with every single breath. And when we consciously breathe in deeply and recognize this activity, we align in more tangible ways. But even if we are going about our business, breathing perfectly normally, as we will be for the vast majority of our earthly experience, this identical activity is taking place. So know that every moment, with every breath you take, the full divine potential of your light to fulfill your divine plan and bless this planet in that instance is flooding through you to bless all life on this planet. Today, the beings of light, as we move to the next phase of our planetary reboot, want us to realize that now that our human ego has been released into the light in ways that we have not experienced since its initial manifestation with our fall from grace eons ago, we have the ability to transmute the misqualified patterns, the fear-based consciousness of our human ego. This is the part of our fallen consciousness that came to the erroneous conclusion that our physical body is who we are, and that the physical planet and the physical plane is all that exists. It didn't understand about the divinity within us, or the full divine momentum of our I Am presence or our Father, Mother, God, but rather it perceived that there was some type of a higher power. But because it was no longer balanced with the love of our Mother God, we created this patriarchal consciousness that was no longer balanced with love. So we began using our power through this fear-based consciousness of our lower human ego to gratify the physical senses, feeling that that was its moment of survival, and whatever it needed to do to accomplish that was all right. So this has created every malady. If we look at every single thing that's happening in the outer world that is causing any form of pain or suffering for any person, place, condition, or thing, we can recognize that this is misqualified energy based in greed and corruption and the abuse of power without being balanced with love and reverence for all life. So once we recognize that, we can even expand that to the bigger picture, knowing that what is occurring now is that these gross mutations of greed and corruption and abuse of power have reflected on the elemental kingdom. And the elemental kingdom, which is the divine intelligence within the earth, the air, the water, and the fire, within our four earthly bodies, the entire expression of the animal kingdom and the water kingdom and the full sylphs of the air and the physical substance of the earth, is also reflecting these gross mutations. So what we are experiencing now is the inclement weather conditions of the abuse of humanity's misqualified energy over eons of time being pushed to the surface. All of these distorted frequencies of the elemental kingdom were inflicted by humanity through our free will choices over eons of time of using our creative faculties of thought and feeling in ways that were not based in love. So now that our ego has been cleared and freed from us in ways beyond anything we've ever experienced before, we have the ability to utilize the light of God to transmute and transfigure these gross mutations that are surfacing all over the world back into their original perfection. As I've mentioned before through this planetary reboot, if we can think of even the most abhorrent, painful, horrific experience that is manifesting in the outer world as a gross mutation of our precious gift of life, that somewhere, sometime in our evolutionary process, a son or daughter of God received this pure life force from our Father, Mother God, and then made the free will choice to send it forth in this gross mutation that is now manifesting in the outer world, not based in love, but rather in hatred or greed or corruption or abuse of power or fear or disease or all of the painful experiences in the outer world. And think of those things as this precious gift of life returning to us, battered and abused in these gross mutations, coming back into the heart of our frequencies of our I am presence to be flooded with love so that it will be transmuted back into light. There's no destroying energy. We have the gift of free will, and we can utilize our thoughts and feelings in any way that we choose. What we need to remember is that we are responsible for how we utilize that gift of life. And once we misqualify it into a gross, painful mutation, it will return to us lifetime after lifetime after lifetime until we recognize it for what it is, take it into our arms of light, and flood it with the divine love of our I am presence and our Father, Mother God, until it is transmuted back into light. And there is no frequency of vibration that is more powerful to enable us to transmute this misqualified energy back into light than the violet flame of God's infinite perfection. This is the perfect balance of the sapphire blue ray of our Father God's divine will and power, and the crystalline pink ray of our Mother God's divine love and reverence for all life. When these two frequencies of our Father, Mother God are merged into a perfect, unified pulsation, they form the violet flame of God's infinite perfection. This frequency of light will be the predominant energy bathing the earth through the sun cycle and the age of Aquarius that we have now entered. So that we can understand just how this light is reflecting us, the company of heaven wants me to share a couple of things with you so that we will all be on the same page. First of all, I know that when we talk about a new age, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation about what a new age is. And because of the fear-based fragmented human ego, a few decades ago, when people started talking about being on the dawn of the age of Aquarius and the new age, I think the fifth dimension, the group called the fifth dimension, very timely name, singing that we are on the dawn of the age of Aquarius, began bringing people's attention to that level. But then humanity began awakening with the shifts of consciousness, realizing we are on the dawn of a new age. And so there were all kinds of misinformation and disinformation, fear-based consciousness reflected through the various world religions, saying that this was misinformation, that this was not the truth, do not pay attention to this, even referring to it as the work of the devil. But the new age is not a religion. It is not a particular belief system or philosophy or concept. It is nothing more than a span of time. And when the earth revolves on its axis in every 24 hours, we experience a new day. As it revolves around the sun in a clockwise motion every 365 and a fourth days, we experience a new year. And as it makes that orbit around the sun, it passes through the natural zodiac of the 12 natural constellations that are in our solar system. And each of these constellations pulsates with one of the 12 solar aspects of deity that reverberate from the heart of God, that comprise the crystalline solar light that manifests all form in our solar system. And so we are held in the embrace of each of these solar aspects of deity for 28 to 31 days, depending on the month that we happen to be in. Now, in addition to those natural shifts of time that we experience, because of the elliptic tilt of the axis, there is a counterclockwise movement. It is really not a complete orbit, but it is a counterclockwise movement. And the Earth moves counterclockwise once again through this orbit, through the various constellations. And this is timed by the location of where the sun passes the equator during the March equinox. And it moves just about 50.2 seconds a year. So it takes about 70 years to move 1 degree on this orbit. So this is considered a 26,000 year cycle known as the precession of the equinoxes. And because this is a 360-degree orbit and there are 12 sun cycles, we are held within the embrace of each sun cycle for about 30 degrees. So that's a little more than 2,000 years. And while we are held in the embrace of that sun cycle, we are bathed with the solar aspect of deity that is predominant for that entire 2,000-year period. Now, all of the 11 other solar aspects of deity are also available, but there is just one predominant frequency that assists in the Earth evolution. As we get close to the edge of the completion of a particular sun cycle, like we have recently moved out of the cycle of Pisces, which reverberates with the sixth solar aspect of deity. And as we were moving out of the sun cycle of Pisces, those energies from the sixth solar aspect of deity begin to recede a little bit. And before we are in the full embrace of the next sun cycle, which is Aquarius, and which reverberates with the seventh solar aspect of deity, there is a window of opportunity during this ebb of energy before we start receiving the full momentum of Aquarius. And that ebb of energy lasts from 150 to 300 years. And that is what is referred to as the dawn of a new age. And what takes place when we're in that ebb of energy is that our Father, Mother, God evaluate the progress that humanity made during the last age and determines what light, what assistance will most be beneficial for us to reflect through the sun cycle that we will be experiencing and the aspect of deity that we will be experiencing in the next age. So we are now through that new age period, and we are in the full embrace of the force field of Aquarius. So the energies that are flowing in through and around us now are the violet flame, the seventh solar aspect of deity, which is the perfect balance of our Father, Mother, God. And it is known as the violet flame of God's infinite perfection. The additional frequencies of vibration that are pulsating during this time of Aquarius are mercy, compassion, forgiveness, transmutation, liberty, justice, freedom, victory, glory, and a brand new expression of transfiguration. These energies of the violet flame are the most powerful frequencies available to us to transmute our misqualified energy back into light. So the beings of light have told us and want us to share so that we're all on the same frequency of understanding the magnitude of what the violet flame does for us. Now, when we receive our gift of life, we receive it as pure life force, our pure light that enters our crown chakra, descends through our pineal gland into our heart flame. And once that light, our life force, is within our heart flame, it is stamped with our individualized electronic pattern. No other person in all creation has the identical electronic pattern that we do individually. This is how the universe knows what energy belongs to whom. So our life force is stamped within the divinity of our heart with our unique individualized pattern. And then we, through our free will choices, choose how we're going to send this life force through our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings. So if we are sending a thought of love to someone, this frequency goes forth from us on an electromagnetic current very similar to a radio wave or a television wave. And as it passes through the atmosphere, it magnetizes other energy vibrating at that same frequency. You've heard the expression like attracts like. This is why, for instance, when we turn on the radio, we're turning on to a particular megahertz frequency. That's why we don't just get this garbled mess of every frequency going through the atmosphere, but a particular frequency. So in this instance, we are sending forth love, so the frequency of love is magnetized to our current. It goes to the person, place, condition, or thing that we have sent it to, bringing that blessing and that energy into their life. Now, this is the process of involution, our life force coming from the core of creation through all the portals of the sun, through our crown chakra, our pineal gland, into our heart flame, and then forward to the point of destination that we send it to. Then, fulfilling the law of the circle, that energy must return to the source. So it is magnetized back to the identical electronic light pattern. So it passes through the atmosphere again, returning to our heart flame. And on the return current, it accumulates additional energy on the return current. So by the time we receive it, that feeling of love is greatly magnified over what we sent out. So it could be a greatly expanded expression of love, or depending on the need of the hour, it could manifest as a financial success or a healing in our bodies. But the universal law is that in order for that light to reflect through us back to our Father, Mother, God, it must be vibrating with the same or a higher frequency of perfection than what we originally received. Well, love certainly is. So that energy then passes through our heart, returns through our causal body to the heart of our Father, Mother, God. Now, once we began misqualifying our gift of life out of curiosity and experimenting with thoughts and feelings that were not based in love, everything changed. Our pure life entered our heart flame, was stamped with our individualized pattern. But when we began sending it forth, say as a thought of hatred or anger, this gross mutation passed forth on this discordant current of energy, magnetizing other discordant energy with it along the way. It entered the force field of the person, place, condition, or thing that we sent it to, reflecting in that life experience whatever they needed to learn. Then it was returned to us, again, accumulating more discordant energy. So by the time it returned to us, greatly magnified over what we originally sent out, what we might have thought was a simple temper tantrum could manifest as a physical illness, as a financial crisis, as a car accident, and myriad seemingly unrelated things. But this energy, this grossly mutated energy, can't pass through our heart back to God until we transmute it back into light. So it began accumulating in, through, and around our earthly bodies, slowing down the frequencies of our bodies, creating discordant vibrations that began manifesting as aging and disease and all of the other maladies and dysfunction of our body. When we fell into denser and denser vibration, that's when we created the fragmented human ego. So now there is this sea of negativity surrounding the planet, to the point that when we leave the physical plane and people go through the near-death experience and come back and talk about it, they talk about passing through this dark tunnel into the light. What that dark tunnel is the psychic astral realm of humanity's misqualified energy. Now, there are myriad light workers on the planet transmuting and healing that energy. And what is happening is that because we are able to transmute it through the power of this greatly accelerated energy from the Aquarian age, this energy is being pushed to the surface at an accelerated pace. So we are now in a position to be able to transmute literally lifetimes worth of our misqualified energy at a greatly accelerated pace. We will never be inundated with negativity in frequencies that we cannot withstand, so that it would overwhelm us and take us down the tubes because it was just too heavy and negative. But in the midst of this unique experiment that we are going through, it is being pushed to the surface, the maximum that we can withstand. And what the beings of light want us to know now is that we now, vibrating at this new frequency with this greatly empowered holy breath, magnetizing new and higher patterns of perfection associated with our own individual divine plans than we've ever experienced before, have a greatly accelerated ability to utilize this violet flame. This was something that was seen in the future, even through the Piscean age. And each age has its own learning experiences, its own mission, and its own preparation. But I'd like to share with you that the avatar of the Piscean age was Jesus, bringing to us the awareness of the path of divine love and the return of the divine feminine through seeing the dove of our Mother God entering our crown chakra, activating our right brain hemisphere. Now, many people have totally misunderstood Jesus's mission, and he knew that we weren't going to understand it fully. So when he was sharing his mysteries of revelation with John the Divine, there is a passage in there that says, in the day of the seventh angel, when he begins to sound, the mystery of God will be fulfilled and time will be no more. That will be the time of the second coming of the Christ. Now, what he meant by that is that when we move into the frequencies of the seventh solar aspect of deity, the seventh angel, in the force field of Aquarius, the mystery of God will be fulfilled and time will be no more, because humanity will learn through the unified frequencies of the violet flame and the balance of our Father, Mother God, the reality of our Mother God. And we will learn how to open our right brain hemisphere, as we have done, and open our crown chakra and reactivate our spiritual brain centers, bringing the love nature of our Mother God into perfect balance with the divine power of our Father God. And this will once again open our crown chakra so that our I am presence can reflect the full divine potential of the initial enlightenment we received at our inception, which was known as Christ consciousness, which we lost awareness of with the fall. And once we return to Christ consciousness and our Mother God returns during the seventh cycle and the seventh sounding of the angel of Aquarius, knowing that this is when we will ascend into the full divine momentum of the new earth, into the fifth dimension, where time and space no longer exists, and time will be no more. And the coming of the Christ, the knowledge of our returning to Christ consciousness, will once again have access to our I am presence in all of the realms of illumined truth. So the mystery of God will be fulfilled. So what we are being asked to do today in this cosmic moment is now, through these newly activated frequencies of crystalline solar light pulsating through our physical, etheric, mental, and emotional fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies, through our newly awakened brain centers, our right brain and left brain hemispheres that are now pulsating in perfect balance, our fully opened crown chakra of enlightenment, and the balanced threefold flame in our heart. We are being asked to bring forth the highest frequencies of the fifth dimensional crystalline solar aspects of the seventh ray, the violet flame of God's infinite perfection, to transmute the negativity that is now flooding the planet and being pushed to the surface. So this is going to be accomplished again through a guided meditation. So if you will breathe in deeply and go within to the divinity of your heart flame, follow me through this meditation with the full power of your attention and your divine intentions, knowing that your mighty I Am presence has taken full dominion of your earthly bodies and your fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies. And you are going to be able to transmute into light the maximum negativity surfacing on this planet that cosmic law will allow. You are serving as a surrogate on behalf of every person on the planet, the entire elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth herself. Breathing in deeply and going within to the divinity of your heart. And we begin. I am my I Am presence, and I am one with the I Am presence of all humanity. As one voice, one breath, one heartbeat, and one energy, vibration, and consciousness of pure divine love, we invoke the most intensified frequencies of the new fifth dimensional crystalline solar violet flame of God's infinite perfection, which is the predominant force field of light now bathing the earth. This energy will flow in frequencies, the magnitude of what God will allow. Beloved Saint Germain, the keeper of the violet flame through all creation, we ask that you and that the legions of fifth dimensional violet flame archangels who are stationed within every person's aura to blaze this new, unfathomable frequency of the violet flame into the physical plane of Earth through every person's heart flame. Secure this violet flame within the core of purity in every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of life on Earth that is surfacing during this cosmic moment to be loved free and transmuted back into light. Instantaneously, blaze this violet flame in, through, and around all of the contamination within humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth's physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies. Expand this violet flame through all inharmonious actions, all lower human consciousness, and all obstructions of the light that any person, place, condition, or thing has ever placed on the pathway of life's perfection. Transmute this negative energy, cause, core, effect, record, and memory back into its original perfection. Seal this energy in an invincible force field of God's transfiguring divine love, so that never again will it fall into the reflection of discord that it was forced to outpicture through the fear-based and fragmented consciousness of humanity's fallen human egos. Legions of light, we ask that you now expand this activity of light and blaze the infinite power of this violet flame of God's infinite perfection with the power and might of 1,000 suns into the human miscreations that are now surfacing all over the earth to be healed at a greatly accelerated space and transmuted back into light. Blaze the violet flame with the power and might of 1,000 suns through every thought, feeling, word, and action, and every expansion of the light. Blaze this light through every man, woman, and child on earth until every person individually acknowledges and accepts the divinity within all life, and every expression made by humanity is a healing benediction to every part of life on this planet. Blaze this violet flame now through all incoming babies, the children, and the millennials, until the sacred knowledge within their consciousness codes is tangibly available in their conscious minds. Expand this activity of light until these precious ones are raised up in energy, vibration, and consciousness to hear and carry out the directives of their I Am presence. Beloved ones, blaze this violet flame through all parents, grandparents, guardians, leaders, teachers, instructors, and professors in every line of endeavor. Now expand this violet flame through all youth centers, schools, colleges, and universities. Create the sacred space where the millennials and the children can express the divine wisdom, God illumination, and enlightenment pulsating within the consciousness codes of their newly activated DNA. Legions of light now blaze this violet flame through all religious and spiritual teachings until divine love, truth, tolerance, oneness, understanding, and universal sisterhood and brotherhood become a manifest reality. Legions of light now blaze this violet flame through all doctors, nurses, healers, hospitals, insurance companies, pharmaceutical conglomerates, and every institution associated with healing of any kind, until divine mercy, compassion, caring, healing, and integrity are tangible realities for every person. Expand this violet flame, beloved ones, and blaze it in, through, and around all banking and financial institutions, all economic systems, all money, and the people associated with monetary interactions of any kind, until every person on earth is openly demonstrating true integrity, honesty, generosity, fairness, abundance, and the God supply of all good things. Now, dear ones, blaze this violet flame through all places of incarceration and all employed there. Expand this activity of light through every correctional institution, every law enforcement officer, every judge, jury, and court of law, until divine justice is manifest and eternally sustained for every person. Blaze this violet flame now through all of the governments of the world and every person, place, condition, and thing associated with the governments of the world at national, state, and local levels. Intensify this violet flame until every government is focusing on the highest good for all concerned and co-creating an environment of divine love, oneness, and reverence for all life, for every person, in every single instance. Expand this violet flame cleansing through all space activities throughout the world until every nation unites in cooperative service, so that God's will may be manifest with our sisters and brothers throughout the universe. Blaze this violet flame now through the physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies of humanity until all aging, all disease, all human miscreation, and their cause and core are purified, dissolved, and transmuted into vibrant health, eternal youth, and infinite physical perfection. Dear ones, expand this violet flame cleansing now through the food and water industries, blazing this violet flame with the power and might of 1,000 suns through all of the food and water used for human consumption and the consumption of the elemental kingdom, until every particle of food and every molecule of water is filled with light. Empower this elemental substance to raise the vibratory action of humanity's physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies until every person's fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies become a manifest and eternally sustained reality. Beloved ones, now blaze the violet flame in, through, and around the air we breathe and every remaining electron of precious life energy on this planet until we have completed our ascension into the full embrace of the immaculate concept of Mother Earth's fifth dimensional crystalline solar light bodies. We now accept and know that this unparalleled frequency of the violet flame of God's infinite perfection, which Saint Germain and the legions of fifth dimensional violet flame archangels have blessed us with this sacred and holy day, is God victoriously accomplishing this facet of the divine plan in preparation for our planetary reboot, even as we call. Now, as we breathe in and out deeply and rhythmically, we join with the company of heaven and the I am presence of every person on earth to exponentially expand our Father, Mother God's gift of the violet flame of infinite forgiveness. Beloved Father, Mother God, Blaze the infinite violet flame of forgiveness in, through, and around every particle and wave of misqualified energy now surfacing to be healed and transmuted back into light. In the name of love, wisdom, power, and authority of the beloved presence of God, I am, within each of us and within the heart flames of all humanity, we now speak directly to the divine intelligence within our Father, Mother God's violet flame of forgiveness. Blessed sacred fire, enfold every person on earth in your merciful, compassionate, and healing substance. We ask that you awaken the consciousness and feelings of forgiveness within the heart flame of every person to perpetually flow now to bless and forgive all life everywhere. Let your purifying essence of forgiveness saturate the atmosphere around every facet of life on earth. Wherever we live, move, breathe, and have our being, allow your miracle-working flame of forgiveness to give us daily tangible proof of its reality to all life. Empower the fifth dimensional violet flame archangel that is stationed within the aura of every person on earth to instantly guard and protect this flame of forgiveness. Intensify this sacred fire so that every person will be able to use their life force and their light to the fullest in their service to life and Earth's planetary cause of transfiguring divine love. Now, as one unified heart flame, we invoke the infinite joy of forgiveness. Through this new frequency of the violet flame, we experience the unfathomable joy that the electronic light substance that was misqualified either deliberately or inadvertently by humanity. The infinite joy that this life force is now experiencing as it is being transformed back into light and loved free. As one unified heart flame, we invoke the most intensified frequencies of the magnificent new patterns of divine joy and forgiveness. As one heartbeat, one breath, one voice, and one energy, vibration, and consciousness of divine love, we flood our beings and every single etheric record since the beginning of time, all of the patterns of misqualified energy back to the initial fall of humanity with the joyful experience of divine forgiveness. In forgiving, we let go of all of the effects of the misused energy impinging on our lives and the lives of all humanity. In forgiving, we let go of the ignorance, confusion, and pain of this world. In forgiving, we now realize that we have come to love life free, and through the forgiveness and the love of our Father, Mother God, and through the unified efforts of humanity's I am presence, so we shall. This is the heart call of our very existence. With this knowing, we realize the joy of forgiving life as it enters our awareness moment by moment. According to our wisdom, we now consecrate our life force to setting all life free through the laws and joy of forgiveness into a higher vibration through which the divine grace of God's forgiveness, which our Father, Mother, God have now given so freely into our keeping, will tangibly manifest on the holy breath until every particle of life on earth is wholly ascended and free. With this knowing, we each affirm within our heart, I am a powerful force of the violet flame of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. The victorious violet flame of forgiveness now transfigures my earthly bodies, harmonizes and stabilizes my feelings, illumines my consciousness, and sets me free and all life evolving on this precious planet, free eternally in the light. And so it is, beloved, I am. Beloved one, as we assimilate this magnificent activity of the violet flame, allowing this cleansing and purging process, the maximum that cosmic law will allow, to blaze in, through, and around every particle and wave of life, let's breathe the holy breath in the rhythmic holy breath, just allowing us to absorb this energy. The rhythmic holy breath is a fourfold breath. We in-breathe for a number of counts, reaching all the way into the core of creation. Then we hold the breath for a number of counts. Then we exhale as we breathe the breath back down through the portals of the suns into our heart flame. And then we hold the breath out as it is expanding out into the world. So I will guide you through this, and I will say, I am in-breathing the joy of God's forgiveness. And as we hold the breath, I am absorbing the joy of God's forgiveness. As we exhale, I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. And as we hold the breath out, I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. So just follow me through this now, very simply, on the in-breath and the out-breath. And we begin. I am in-breathing the joy of God's forgiveness. Hold. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. Exhale. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. Hold. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. I am in-breathing the joy of God's forgiveness. Hold. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. Exhale. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. Hold. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. In-breathe. I am in-breathing the joy of God's forgiveness. Hold. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. Exhale. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. Hold. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. I am inbreathing the joy of God's forgiveness. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. I am inbreathing the joy of God's forgiveness. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. I am inbreathing the joy of God's forgiveness. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. I am inbreathing the joy of God's forgiveness. I am assimilating the joy of God's forgiveness. I am expanding the joy of God's forgiveness. I am projecting the joy of God's forgiveness. And breathe normally, allowing this magnificent violet flame activity of light to fulfill the immaculate concept of its highest divine potential. Our Mother God is expanding her light through our heart flame, through our right brain hemisphere, and embracing every particle and wave of life in gratitude for the opportunities that we are experiencing and participating in now. So go within the divinity of your heart flame, center yourself, and listen to the words and watch the video of this beautiful song.
Hello, my beloveds. On this very, very holy day, as you are filled with the light of freedom, feel that movement through your etheric, physical, mental, and emotional bodies as never before. My name is Kay Meyer, and I bow within my heart to the beauty in God that you are. On this very special day, we are going to share a meditation looking and experiencing the very wholeness of God through the gifts that have been given to us, through the reality and the knowledge of who we truly are, as we are unified in oneness of all life with every other part of life on this wonderful planet. We know through this activity of light that victory is ours, and that is what this sacred and glorious mission will accomplish. As many of you know, the World Congress in the beginning, well over a year ago, was planned to be held in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And because of the COVID, that had to change, of course. I'm sure that this is not an accident because we are all being unified together within our own heart flames, yet pulsing as one vibration, energy, and consciousness to accomplish the will of God. The statement that comes with this state of New Mexico is that it is the land of enchantment. And that is what we are working with and toward, to make our world the fullness of God's enchantment in every single way. Many years ago, when I was meditating, I was shown by God that this planet was truly a crystalline orb of light, dedicated as an altar of light within the infinity, the very body of our Father, Mother God. It was a glorious vision to absorb and know. And together today, as we move through this meditation and the remaining activities of the day, we will be anchoring all of this light into this beautiful orb, this altar of God, returning her back to the form that she was in the beginning. So as we begin our meditation, I would like you to get comfortable in your place. If you feel comfortable to do so, close your eyes and again breathe in deeply, allowing the full radiance of your God self to express through your physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies. And as you let go and let God, in your mind's eye, see this blessed planet as a blazing crystalline orb of pure divine light. In this moment, as you visualize this planet in that manner, become aware of the mighty threefold flame that is pulsating upon the sacred altar within the very center of this planet, the body of beloved Virgo and Pelor. As you visualize this sacred threefold flame, you realize there is a connection between that sacred threefold flame and your threefold flame. You see the crystalline beauty and glory of the elemental kingdom, the sylphs of the air, the salamanders of the fire, the undines of the water, and the gnomes and the nature spirits of the earth's substance, all in crystalline formations of light, moving together in a perfect harmony and balance as this light fills the physical, etheric, mental, and emotional energies of every man, woman, and child, and the planet Earth herself. At this very moment, within the heavenly realms, there is unprecedented guidance, activity, and support for the mission at hand. We are aware of the great stars and the planets, of the sun signs, of the great suns, beyond suns, to the heart of the cosmic I Am. We are aware and welcome the galactic, cosmic, and ascended beings of light. We are aware of the magnificent angelic kingdom in all orders of service, and of the perfection of the elemental kingdom that is held in continuity with every breath, with every ray of light, and with every effort that comes forth from the company of heaven. All of these energies are holding the immaculate concept of the destiny of this planet and all her life, the kingdoms three, the perfection and kingdom of the elemental world, the perfection and kingdom of the angelic world, and the perfection of the human kingdom as we walk hand in hand together on this planet of light. At the beginning of this month, this planet was embraced in the glorious light of beloved Neptune and Lunara, whose very essence represents the love nature of God through the association of the water element, the emotional energy that they represent on planet Earth. So October the 1st was a powerful full moon. And on October the 31st, we will be experiencing again a very powerful full moon. So at the beginning and the end of this month, there is the embrace of pure divine love that continues to bathe this planet. On October the 16th, we experienced a very powerful new moon to bless all life in this endeavor. There are planets that are conjunct one with another, establishing energy fields of new harmonies and balance for planet Earth. In some of these activities, these conjunctions have not taken place for thousands of years. In this great planetary reboot or reset, the heavens are providing the tools for a sustainable, resilient future centered on human dignity, a realization of the power of unity in diversity, establishing new natural orders and peace for all life on this planet. As the releasing and resetting takes place, both individually and collectively, all that is hidden is now being revealed. Solutions can be achieved. Hearts are opening to heal the maladies, and harmony, balance, and divine order will be the order of each new day. With all the assistance of the gifts of heaven, every part of life has new potential and victory for the shift of consciousness that will sustain the truth of the oneness of all life. And so it is. And as we absorb the meanings of these words and this reality of God light, we begin to realize and know, I have a sacred design blending in to the sacred design of planet Earth. It is unique to me. It is radiant and beautiful and reflects the splendor of God in every way. Every aspect of my sacred design, my perfect blueprint, contains supreme knowledge and abilities that will anchor a portion of the kingdom of heaven here on earth. That is my purpose and reason for being, to extend the body of God in physical form. That is the sacred design of planet Earth. And through my heart flame, and in this moment, I see this sacred design pulsating within my being. I feel its power and energy, and I am one with every living thing and their sacred design pulsating upon this planet, connected to this star of freedom. Each new plan is as vital as the next, and I dedicate this day and all within it to the firm establishment of my portion of the sacred design. It will bring untold blessings to me and my world, for when I co-create with God, the doors of heaven open and all is mine. I am one with God, a sacred design of glory. And in this moment, I become aware that I am the perfection of my threefold flame, the perfect balance of love, wisdom, and power. As this sacred light intensifies and expands, It accelerates the vibration of my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies as they are purified and unified into the pure light I am. I become aware of my 12 sacred chakras, filled with the 12 solar aspects of deity that continually blaze forth these perfections of God. I am aware of my elemental vortices that pulsate within my being, and I activate them now through these statements. I am that I am. I am the breath of Holy Spirit. I am the fire breath of the Almighty. I am the harmony of my true being. I am the master of my physical reality. I am now clothed in the 12 solar aspects of deity, and I feel their vibration within my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies as they begin to form and accelerate a chalice of light, which is my gift of light back to our Father, Mother, God, with an open heart, head, and hand. Through this energy and activity, I know that I am now my mighty I am presence. I glorify this activity of light within, through, and around me, knowing this is my sacred design and my true reality. And I am united with the mighty I am presence now of every man, woman, and child in energy, vibration, and consciousness to the holy will of God. And in this moment, filled with these sacred gifts of light, expressing through my DNA and every electron the very fullness of our Father, Mother, God, I, through the holy breath, further anchor my sacred divine plan. In-breathing, I am in-breathing the love, wisdom, and power of my sacred design to be implemented and expanded this holy day. Holding the breath, I am absorbing the love, wisdom, and power of my sacred design to be implemented and expanded this holy day. Breathing out, I am expanding the love, wisdom, and power of my sacred design to be implemented this holy day. Holding the breath out, I am projecting the love, wisdom, and power of my sacred design to be implemented this holy day. For I am God's image of my sacred design. As I experience the fullness of this reality in, through, and around me, connected to every other part of life upon this planet, I begin to see now the connection, heart flame to heart flame, with every man, woman, and child. The brotherhood, sisterhood of the kingdom of humanity has united now through this sacred heart flame, and we feel ourselves instantly projected into the very center of this planet Earth. As we kneel before the magnificent altar of holy light, again we feel our connection of the mighty threefold flame, the pure divine love, wisdom, and power of God, one with this planet Earth. On the holy breath, this sacred design of God's creation and perfection is further implementing into my very being and the very being of every brother and sister within the family of humanity. And now, in a glorious moment of light, we are projected as one energy, vibration, and expression into the atmosphere of this planet, into the infinity of God. We are the kingdom of humanity, heart flame to heart flame, holding the whole of this planet within our very being and united with the entire company of heaven. We see standing at the cardinal points of this planet, north and south, east and west, the mighty directors of the elemental kingdom, as they project into the earth, the air, the fire, and the water, the glorious and accelerated frequencies of God's freedom that fill the physical, etheric, mental, and emotional substance of planet Earth. We see this vibration of light flooding through the water substance, embracing every electron of the undines. It fills the salamanders and the kingdom of fire until the fire element vibrates with the purity of this sacred gift of light. It expands now through the earth substance until we see the earth and all the gnomes and the nature spirits and experience within the physical substance of every part of life the glory of this moment. And finally, through the air substance, the sylphs are blessed with this glorious frequency of God's freedom and transfiguration, enhanced through the power of love, wisdom, and power in perfect balance. And as one unified voice, we make this call. Beloved presence of God, I am. I humbly invoke within my being the expansion of your qualities of divine love, wisdom, power, tact, compassion, patience, diplomacy, forgiveness, brotherhood, sisterhood, eternal youth, beauty, perfection, sustained joy, selflessness, devotion, freedom, tolerance, knowledge, and self-mastery. I ask for the ability to see each one of my brothers and sisters as part of my greater self, to hold each one to awaken to their true identity in God and their divine design. I ask that I may help them with the fulfillment of their divine plan, and that I may develop my own talents to their highest potentials. I request that my emotional and mental bodies be harmonized, raised, and purified by the action of the violet fire and the ascension flame, as it pulsates within the perfection of God's love, wisdom, and power. I offer myself this day and every day as an instrument of God to channel your many blessings to all life upon the planet, that through me consciousness be raised and peace restored. May God be magnified in an ever-expanding spiral of love, wisdom, power, and gratitude for the many blessings and opportunities for growth this life on earth now offers. I accept your love and guidance with gratitude, and I am now standing on this sweet earth, a crystalline orb of light, manifesting my full potential in God. And so it is. Beloved, I am. And as you absorb these energies deeper and deeper into your very being, continuing to breathe normally, rhythmically, and deeply, when you are ready, you may open your eyes. Thank you for this glorious moment of light on this planet, here and now. Blessings.
This has been a glorious day that we've had with you and such an incredible opportunity. The legions of light are flooding this earth with this magnificent violet flame, transmuting the maximum discord being pushed to the surface that cosmic law will allow. As we've been sharing over the past 2 days of the Planetary Reboot and the 34th World Congress, is that each and every one of us is participating in this for a reason, because of plans and preparations and training that we have had for myriad lifetimes. So this is one of those days when there's going to be a lot of activity going on in the outer world that'll be brought to your attention. Maybe more than normal, maybe not more than normal, but there's a lot going on in the way of cleansing and purging and purifying in the outer world. So we're being asked to just stay focused in our heart and to volunteer to be that open door for the maximum frequencies of God's infinite violet flame of perfection, so that we can continue purging and cleansing and purifying. And as this light is cleansed, additional things will be pushed to the surface to be cleansed. But the faster we can complete this, the faster we will start experiencing the patterns of perfection for the new earth. So this concludes our activity of light for the 3rd day of our planetary reboot. Our energies are being raised the maximum that we can withstand in every 24-hour period. So again, I will encourage you to do whatever you are feeling guided to do. Listen to your body elemental. Listen to your I am presence. We are being guided unerringly as we move through these steps. And each of us has a unique and individual facet of this divine plan. So just stay within your heart, pay attention, and very often just being is the key to the most effective way of allowing our I am presence. That in fact is why we are in a forced timeout and experiencing this time at this moment, is because it has created the space for us to just be for a while. And even those, as I mentioned before, that are essential workers that haven't been able to just be and have been working harder and harder, they are a minority of the number of people evolving on this planet. And we have reached a critical mass. So the rest of humanity, through their I am presence, is holding and cradling these precious essential workers to allow them to fulfill their facet of the divine plan. So when things are pushed to the surface, the remainder of this 22-hour period, pushed to the surface that you know is the residue of the lower human ego, just flood it with light, see this precious, totally battered and distorted energy being transmuted back into love and light, and know that you are paving the way for the next phase of the planetary reboot. So I welcome you again tomorrow to the 34th Annual World Congress on Illumination and day 4 of our planetary reboot. God bless you and have a glorious rest of your day.